Nice frosty morning. Had some rain, so we're going to test this car out in the day now. Okay, just so you guys can get a good understanding of what it's like to drive a Mercedes-Benz 500 SEC coupe. Yeah, I know. I need to fix up the exterior. I did a lovely job on the base coat, but I ruined the clear. I didn't ruin the clear. I just didn't put it down thick enough. So anyway, you see how the car works. Yeah, there's a feel. Go for a drive. We'll try to at least. Sometimes I have stuff. Let's get the warm on. Put the radio on. Okay. We want to listen to the car, so I'm going to take us for a drive. All right, let's take a good look around us, nice and clean and clear, and away we go. We should put the lights on. Got to take it easier in town because it's a student town. People just walk crossroads, don't look at anything, so you've got to be vigilant. When we get out to the countryside, we'll open it up and stretch our legs. It's a very addictive car to drive in that it's sporty, so you just want to put your foot down all the time because it feels so nice. And I mean, I drive an EV electric vehicle for work, and of course those Even the very basic model, it's got so much direct torque. It's just amazing. They are all performance cars in their own right. But you can't compare the two. But this is, it does well considering it's 40 years old and very strong, but smooth and refined. And it's old, it's got its glitches. It needs to warm up. It wants its heat cycles through the car for everything to start working nice and smooth. It wants to be driven, I wouldn't say every day, but at least once a week. But for me, it feels like it needs to be even more frequent than that, that the car wants regular maintenance and so when the thing with these cars is the more you drive them, the better they get. So it's actually very lovely in here. I'm sitting in my flip-flops, right? Shorts. It's 5-6 degrees outside, maybe a little bit warmer. And it's morning. Well, you can see it's 7 o'clock in the morning. And it's warm in here. Not only that, the one thing that's nice about these cars, the way they were designed, is that you can have a normal conversation inside without having to raise your voice while driving. And I'm only doing 50 now, but even at 70, you feel the car it's quite manageable to have a decent conversation, considering this is a 40-year-old body. If you look behind you, that's what it looks like inside. It's the best seat covers I could find that would fit these seats. You can't buy seat covers for these cars for love of money, that nobody makes seats as wide as these, or seat covers for these seats, and because the velour isn't, you can't obtain the fabric anymore. Nobody makes it. You can find substitutes, which were maybe even better than the original material. But if you want to take the car back to that level of originality and restoring it, you won't find that fabric anymore. But so, to protect what I've got left and make sure that it doesn't get damaged. I mean, thankfully it's not damaged. It's just faded. It's just old. Just wants to have a bit of. And I cleaned it, but if you clean anymore, you're just going to do more damage. So I've just protected it, and I've just kept it out of the sun. The only damage, if you could call it that, was the parcel shelf, which I replaced with a similar kind of velvet fabric, which I found in a textile shop. So I was lucky to get hold of that colour and match it to the car. And I was fortunate to find car mats. I've got the original car mats, but I'd rather wear these new ones out than further wear the old ones underneath. So that was important for me to keep an eye on. Let's get past this Fiesta. And the nice thing about this car is it's got headlight wipers, which work, and the washing machine filler, everything works, so that's nice. Next project for me is to fix up these horrible dash cracks. Of all the cars I've seen in the Mercedes range, none of them have dash cracks but this one. I don't know what happened to this poor car. I think I saved it from the brink. I really do. And it must go to an owner that's going to look and care for it. I just could not part with this car knowing it's going to be parted out or left under a tree somewhere again. That would just piss me off. The amount of work that I had to put into getting this vehicle back to its glory, and there's still much to do. I mean, you can see the laminate needs redoing. That's not a difficult job, but if you're a specialist. But if you're just the common man like me, you're going to have a hard time of it. So just don't have the tooling to work on this kind of stuff. You can't even attempt it yourself. It's not a DIY job. So that's got to go in for works. I mean, you can see where the sun hasn't got to it. It's pretty good. It's okay. But yeah, it's definitely been left in the sun, where it should have just been covered up at least. Other than that, it's fine. Put the radio on. Yeah, you showed me an original Mercedes-Benz with its original Blaupunkt radio playing a cassette. I've not seen that ever. So I'm quite chuffed that I've got that working. However, I've also added the Bluetooth function to the radio. So I had to do away with the shortwave, but I could play Bluetooth music through my old radio, and it's awesome. The next job for me to do is just hook up the amplifier. I'm yet to find a place underneath the cubbyhole where I'm going to put the amplifier and just rewire the speakers in. You can see that she holds her pressure well, temperature, economy. You want to watch that economy needle, man. But I mean, this car is so affordable to drive. It doesn't matter how much fuel you throw into it. You'll never use the same amount of money you would buying a new car, a depreciating value car. This car's value is just going up, and it's so easy to look after and drive. Everything is a 17, a 13 and a 10 spanner. Flatten a crosshead screwdriver and a normal combination pliers and a side cutters and a roll of insulation tape, couple of fuses, spray, lube spray, silicone lube spray, contact cleaner, and you're going. It will drive and get you where you need to. So yeah, no, it's worth it. Really, it's worth it. And it doesn't bother people. You know, it doesn't get in your people's way. Don't get people's goats up. Folks don't try and race you, dice you. People don't come along and scratch your car unless you're love parking right next to idiotic Tesco parking driving cars. And you don't have a irritable ex. Then you should be fine in one of these. It's not classed as a sports car, so the insurance is very low. On top of that, the classic insurance, I get about $90 a year for this one. I think considering my age as well, but my record is not clean, so even with that, 90 quid a year for fully comp, zero tax, MOT exempt, happy days. This is like true freedom, the only little bit of freedom we've got left now, driving something like this. You know, so you've really got to look into the life choices. I mean, look, it's a long car, it's 5 meters long, you know, and it's nimble, it's thrifty. I could do with a bit of pimping up, but the minute you do that, it loses its originality. I mean, the guy designed the car the way he wanted it designed, and it just fit for purpose, you know. One thing I could maybe do is fit 215s to the corners, you know. Put 215 width tires on, give you a bit more grip. And then, I've never ever lost grip in this car, so touch wood, no. But anyway, yeah, you could do that. I could replace the KYB shocks with Bilsteins. The original Zaxxas would be optimal. Like, you can still get them. They're about 60 quid each, and they're great. But the KYBs are just as good, so, you know, if not better. So nothing wrong with them Japanese shocks. So, you know, yeah, maybe the sound. You could do something about the exhaust to make it a bit more throatier and louder, and but then you're on a fine line where you start, you know, dwelling from the original, and then it becomes too cheesy or chintzy, and you don't want to be one of those in one of these. Because you're already driving a 1980s dentist's car, in a way, yeah. But if you went and sportified this even more, you're just going to look like a bit of a Burke. There's a risk that you would. So keep it as it is, and because you know, you notice when you're driving around now, people watch and look at it. You just don't want the police looking at you, and that's all. But you know, if you ain't doing it right, if you ain't doing right, do it at night. Principle follows true with that. Anyway, yeah, this car is kind of like a well-behaved car, so people, they like the look of it, the sleekness. But yeah, it is long. Having said that, long car, maneuvering this thing through tight parking in Tesco's and the like is actually very easy. I mean, for one thing, the windows are really big and wide. Look at that. Look at the visibility you've got around you. You can see all the four corners, the blind spots. And you know, if you want to go park this little jammy, long jammy, in this parking lot over here, for example, right? She just goes in here like this. Check these tight turnings. Watch this. She swings that long nose right in there, no problem. Need to make a U-turn? Okay, mate. Let's make a U-turn. Let's make a tighter circle. Let's make like a super tight circle. That's locked, right? I made it in there. Look at that. Come on. You can't get better than this. So let's